So feel free to, and when I ask you for questions, try to make your questions more along the things that are on people this side of the counter than that side of the counter, if I didn't cover it, okay?
All right, we're good.
So, there you go. So hey everybody, I'm Joe Barnett from the Vaping Militia. What we're going to talk today about is that crazy stuff that's coming down from the FDA and how it affects you as a consumer. So a lot of people come to me every day and they're asking me, what is it that I can do? How do I get involved in what's going on? I mean, after all, I'm just the guy who's getting my stuff taken away. That's really what it is for a consumer. We got to worry about when is the market going to change and what are we going to do and what can we do to stop it. So let's talk about the important things first. August 8th. After August 8th, every juice that you know, every device that you love, that's it. That's the only thing that you're going to see on the market. Nobody can change flavors. Nobody can change the colors of paint. Nobody can make a new, 0.3 ohm coil with sheep's wool cotton, because that didn't go through the PMTA. If they decided to make it after August 9th, it doesn't go on the market, okay? So that's a very big thing to think about. And that market freeze is for 2 years. Now, what some of the things that the vendors are going to be doing is they're going to have to go register products, which means they're going to go tell the FDA what they make, all right? But that's what they're going to be doing for you. How do you get involved? Well, the number one thing that you need to do to get involved is join CASA. We need to get as many people as possible into CASA. So we have a group of people that can stand up and say, we want our vape, we want to continue to vape, and it's so important. It's free to join, and everybody should be a member of CASA. If you're already a member of CASA, here's my challenge to you. By the end of today, I want you to find 5 people that are your friends that aren't in CASA and have them sign up. We got to get that number up. It's very important. CASA's also made life very easy for consumers. There's a website, and I'm going to try to get it focused in the camera here so it can be seen. August8.org, www.august8.org. If it has to do with the FDA and something that a consumer can do, that's the site it's going to be at. You don't have to hunt through your states. You don't have to hunt through anything. Log on to that site every day and say, what can I do to help save vaping? That's very important. The other thing we need to think about is engage the shops that you shop at. This is time for the consumers to come forward and start asking that question. How are you involved? And don't be afraid to tell them to give you everything they're involved in. Are you a member of this? How are you moving? Are you talking with your legislators? Things like that. And here's where I'm going to tell consumers it's time to step up to the plate, really. When they say nothing, take the time to educate them, at least to your level. If they don't want to take that education, take your money and your butt and get out of that shop. Because that person is there, they're going to take your money, they're not going to do anything to save this industry, and you know what? I don't want them around. So it's a big thing for you to be a part of it. There's a lot of confusion out there about some of the things that are going on that make a difference for this industry. I want to support HR 2058. I want to support the Cole Amendment. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, here's the bottom line. And this has been said over and over again. Both of those things are important. Both of them. Your support behind both efforts is essential. Call your senators, call your representatives, and tell them that you support these amendments and that you think they should be passed. Okay? CASA's got a big job coming up. And we, as consumers, have really got to help them out. What's going to happen with the Cole Amendment is when the agriculture bill gets to Congress, some Democrats are going to stand up and say, I want to write an amendment to take that out. That's when we got to come forward. And CASA will tell us when, and we need to tell our senators we want that in. So that's coming up. Everybody wants to do something right now. Again, right now what we have to do is get people into CASA. We don't need to do a whole lot of crazy stuff. This fight is long. This fight is going to take the next few years. And not always are we going to be able to say, well in advance, we're going to do this in 2019. We're going to do this in June of 2018. Because when it comes to waging a battle like this, a good general doesn't expose the battle plan. So be patient. Start listening. We've been trying to get you ready for 2 years. And if you're at this point hearing this for the first time, I'm sorry to say, shame on you. We've been talking about this for 2 years. It's not a surprise. You need to jump up and do something. The other thing I want you to start thinking about is there's a petition. I know everybody talks about petitions all the time. They're not a particularly good thing to do. That, oh, nobody's going to do anything with that. And yeah, if you run out there on Facebook and you sign a petition for Obama to walk into the FDA and punch Mitch Zeller in the nose, it's not going to happen, okay? But when a petition has the right drive behind it, the right information, and the right representation, it can be a very good thing. The Fair Cloth petition is that. You can go forward, we need 100,000 signatures, and all we're doing is taking and giving Delegate Faircloth the ability to walk into Congress and to express his grievances about the FDA to Congress. This is throwing politicians at politicians. It's the right thing to do. There's a lot of efforts. There's going to be suits and litigation. There's going to be legislative efforts and things like that. How do consumers support litigation? That's law. That's taking a thing to court, by the way. The way you do that is those companies that are involved in litigation, it's time for you to patronize them. You need to be helping them by making their business stronger. I'm going to remind you this, something that many of us don't know about. That in 2009, a company called Smoking Everywhere jumped up and went after the FDA during that suit. Now, that cost them their business. They're gone. They're bankrupt. Okay? If it wasn't for another business coming in and saving it, and we really got to appreciate what they did, but when Sotera came in and finished that case, that kept us from being a medical device. So I don't want to see this happen with the lawsuits that are going on. They can beat you in court with evidence, or they can beat you in court by making you not be able to pay to stay in court, and that's what we got to prevent. Okay? So these are things you can do as a consumer. The biggest thing, if you're not doing anything, you're part of the problem. Start doing something, be part of the solution. Okay, I'm going to open the floor up to questions. If anybody's got any questions?
So in addition to joining CASA, if somebody wanted to go and, because I've seen this, people talking about, I want to go right to my senator, my congressman, do you have any advice for what they should tell them, or the tone of the email, or anything like that?
Let's talk to tone first. It's an elected official. Respect's due. Okay, even if they're doing something you don't want, respect's due. The other thing too is the consumer has the most powerful and incredible tool at their disposal, their story. Tell that senator how many years you smoked. Tell that senator how hard you tried to quit smoking. Tell that senator what flavor you use, and tell that senator that you switch flavors at this much time. And the last thing is you say is, why are you going to put the vape shops out of business? This is so important. Everybody misunderstands the idea of the vape shop, okay? The vape shop is our front line, and it really is. And we've got to get people understanding. That's where we teach battery safety. We teach people how to use liquid responsibly. Everything that is good about this industry is done in the vape shop. You need to communicate that to your senator so they know. When they shut those guys down, they're hurting everyone. And before I go any further, I want to go back to one thing. A lot of people think this battle is 100% about my juice, my mod, my right to vape. And if that's why you're fighting, you are one fucked up individual. Okay? This is about 40 million people that are going to die because of cigarettes. If that's not enough cause for you to get in this fight, I have my doubts about you as a human. So think about that. Anything else?
How important is this for us to register to vote?
Oh, voting. Well, the senator guys, you write them a letter, and when they read your letter or they get the phone call from you and they get the email and their aide walks in and talks to you about it, first thing they do is look on their computer. Is that person registered to vote? Well, he's a registered voter. It means a participant in the government. I think I might read that one. Did he vote in the last election? Why did he do that? Why would they do that? Well, that means he might vote for me in the next election. Hey, I think I'm going to read that guy's letter. I'm going to talk to him. So, the keys to the kingdom to getting your congressman, your representatives' attention is at the ballot. So, don't cause yourself the problem of making your voice a little voice. Be a big voice. Be a very big voice.
There were what I asked the last question. You mentioned flavors a couple of times. Why the emphasis on telling your elected official what flavor you vape?
So, The deeming regulations have come down. They're in final step. They're engraved in stone. That's what it is. Okay. Now it's going to take legislation and litigation to change it. Okay. But what people aren't thinking about is with every other industry, now the FDA owns it, and they're going to create more regulations. And we've already seen in many conferences discussions about flavor and how they appeal to the youth population. The bottom line is we need to prove to them that that is the most important thing to the adult smoker. That flavors gets them away from killing themselves and gets them to a product that the Royal College of Physicians said, even with further research, will only probably be as harmful as 5% compared to a cigarette. Okay? It seems like a no-brainer. You'd think everybody would get it.
So this could be a very long question, but could you briefly explain to us as consumers exactly what's going to change about the products we're buying right now, or what we currently have at home?
Well, what you have at home, you have at home. Let's just throw that right out there. And until there's further regulation that clamps it down, if you happen to be one of those people that mixes liquid, as long as you can get nicotine, that may be a question later, but you can continue what you're doing. But the biggest thing you need to realize is the variety that is there will be disappearing slowly. The expense in time, the expense in education, so that people do the right thing is the first culling of the market. For those people that don't register their product, by the end of the year, the FDA is going to send out letters telling them you can't sell. It's an injunction. It's a court order. Now you're breaking the law when you do. Okay? So the number of products is going to substantially decrease. Let's keep going a little bit forward to that thing called the PMTA. Now here's where I'm going to say something scary. As companies start doing the right thing, the price to vape is going to go up. It's bottom line. It's going to go up. And when a company spends $1 million to put a product on a shelf, you as a consumer have to pay that cost to there. Think about it. They put all that stuff into cars, and they keep building safer and safer cars. Airbags, super airbags, side airbags, collision avoidance systems. They don't give that shit away for free. Everybody's got to pay for it. You have to pay for the research and the process behind it. So prices going up, selection going down, products leaving the market, then we get to 2018. If they haven't finished, it's gone. Everything we know about our culture is gone. As a consumer, if that bothers you, get involved. You've got to do something now.
So as far as custom mixing, on August 8th, that's no longer going to be allowed at any shop out there?
No, the current regulation does not allow you to go in and pick and choose a product that is not defined as a full product. So you're going to see shops. There is some talk about how long that can continue. There's a little bit of a grayness, but understand that many shops at that time have shifted their focus. They're trying to do what's right, so they're going to try to comply. So you should expect everything in a bottle sold to you sealed. And appropriately labeled, by the way.
Do we have any idea of the number of people in the U.S., number of adults that are vapors or use vapor products?
CDC report said there were 9 million of us. CDC said that there were 9 million people who tried this device. Currently, we're looking right near 200,000. Again, 9 million have used it, 200,000. So when you go into your vape shop, if your vape shop's not signing up people for CASA, break out your phone and start signing up everybody in there. Let's get the consumers involved.
So that 200,000 number is roughly the current members of CASA.
Yep.
Out of a pool of 9 million.
Out of a pool of 9 million.
That's depressing.
And keep in mind, you don't have to actually be if this product concerns you, talk that person into joining CASA. And again, it's still a learning curve. We're a young industry. Let's not beat ourselves up on the sins of the past. Let's move forward and do the right thing. Anything else? I want to thank you guys very much, and thanks to Valor Vapor for bringing me out here. It was awesome. It was an awesome trip. Go sign up for CASA or get a buddy in there. This is Joe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.